Hey everyone, today we're back with the Burgman 200 and we're gonna, another video I showed how to replace the tail lights and what that looked like and the difference, but today I'm gonna do the headlights. The standard halogens in there are okay at night, but you know, these LEDs claim a little bit more brightness with about the same amount of wattage. We'll see how true those actually are, but yeah, I'll post some pictures of before and afters, and I'll open up the garage to let some daylight in to see if it makes a difference or not. But so we're going to follow what the manual says to get the headlight cover off. It says these screws here, there's some under the footrests. Here we're going to look for in a bit. Same on the other side, and then there's some fasteners down here and down there that we're gonna untag to get the shroud off. Now you can, if your hands are small enough, you can actually get up in here and you can reach the back of each headlight here. But I had a hard time getting the rubber piece back on and off. I was able to pull the spade connector. But manipulating that rubber piece on there could be interesting. And behind that, there's a spring clip that holds it. So we're gonna go by the manual and see what we get. So let me get some tools and see what we figure out here. Okay, future me here. Just in case you want the TLDR version of all this, or you can keep watching the rest of the video for the full 45-minute version of taking everything down. But what I mentioned is you can turn your forks and get your hand up behind here and change the light bulbs rather than having to take apart the entire assembly. The part I had issues with was aligning the little wire pin that holds everything in. But what I learned after doing all the hard work and using all that time is, if you look inside the bulb, there's right there, that little square opening that actually shows you the retainment pin, and you can actually see it when you get it latched. So rather than taking all the fairings off and everything to get in there, just do it the quick way. And if you got a small enough hand and with some dexterity in there, it's much easier than doing the full way. But keep watching to watch past me take everything apart, since it was my first time changing the headlights. And here's the stock headlight. I'm not sure if the phone focus is really gonna do it justice here, but I wanna do before and after here and kind of see how it's illuminating there. Turn on the brights, do that. See what this looks like and see if we get any sort of difference before and after here. All right, to get to these screws here, we're gonna pry up the foot peg here. Yeah, it just pops in there. There's the two screws we need for that, right there and there. Then we're gonna get the screw out and the screw out. Let me get those out, and then on the other side, and then I'll be back with you. Fasteners down here now too. After we get the screws and pop, I can see them. I'm not gonna be able to hold it and do it at the same time. All right, with all the screws and fasteners removed, now it says step 1, take this top piece off. It's got some pop stuff in here. It's coming off. Let's see. Something down here it's stuck on. Let's see. pull out, and then you lift this up a little bit. And so that's gonna be fun to get back in. But yeah, that's how that works. And this is how you get to your windshield if you need a replacement. And let me see you figure out the bottom piece. I'll be right back. All right, after some finagling here, you gotta kind of pull on this side to remove that clamp, and then slowly work its way off all the little clamps. This plastic's paying the rear, but do the same to the sides. So other side, then it comes down, and you can angle it out a little bit here. Be careful of the cable that's connected in here. And so here's the spade connector we're gonna take off, and that boot beneath it, and then we'll put the new lights in. All right, let's see if we can do this on the camera here. Pin 1, second pin, and then pull the boot off. And I'm not gonna do the other one yet, so I can watch this one. So in there's like a clip that we're gonna have to just like lift up on the left here. Okay, so yeah, that pin, you just push down and then lift up, and then that releases the bulb. So, and here's our bulb. Looks like it's got the one piece up here. Let's go grab our replacement bulb and see how this works out. Okay, some frustration trying to do it one-handed. I just removed this so we weren't tugging on cables, and I just put it out. This is a much easier view to see. It looks like on the old headlight, there's an adapter. I was wondering why the pin wasn't clamping down so hard, so we're gonna take this and be sure to plug in the replacement bulb into this adapter. And there's the old bulb I got there. So I wanted to show the step since I was completely missed a step. Didn't mention anything about reusing the adapter, but yeah, this again, like I got it clamped here and it was still just too loose in there. So we're gonna put the adapter on, and that should be a better experience for us. All right, so we've got the adapter on. We can get a much better view of getting this this rubber cap back on here. This was the thing that was giving me fits trying to do this from below the bike. Trying to do all that line, so once you get the cap on the back pushed down, this thing's one-handed, but get it fully seated. These two things point towards the bottom, and then once that's in place, we're gonna plug our connectors back in here. And there's that. Again, orient the LED side to side where the flat ends are facing on the horizontal plane of the bike. So now onto the high beams, and I'll get back to you once we start testing. Okay, I just got it plugged back in here before we bolt everything up. Gonna make sure everything works. Yeah, because those panels are kind of a pain, so you want to make sure everything works before you put it back together. So let's put the key on, and that is looking pretty good. It's bright white light. Let's turn on the brights. It's pointing down and it's already looking a little brighter. So, okay, so everything's working, and let's turn it off, and I'm gonna try to get this buttoned up. Might take me a minute here. Definitely can't do it with one hand, but kind of the reverse order of how you got it out. There's gonna be all these little clips here that you gotta point back into. You'll need these holes to line up, that hole to line up with all sorts of stuff here. It's gonna be fun. I'll tell you once I get back on camera how long it actually took me. Okay, got it back on here. Took some filling. I was trying to go from like the bottom up, but that won't work because there's two, you can't really see them in there, but there's two posts that hang down here that has to go under first. So start from the top, get it under those posts, then get your top pieces sorted first, hit all the edges to get everything to pop back in, and then pop things in here, and it seemed to come together. But yeah, the plastics on these things are, yeah, I guess they try to make the aerodynamic, and it's cool to block the wind, but it makes it a pain just to get the headlights. I think since I know the way it looks now, I think I'm just, if I need to change them, I'm just gonna reach up under there with my hands since I know what to feel for now. But you know, that's why we do these videos, we learn this stuff. So let me get these fasteners and all these screws back together, and then we'll maybe do a few more comparisons here. And then I'll get back on once we show you how to put this cover on. All right, so I've got the, be sure to put fasteners, if I can show you, there we go, back on here. And here, this one, need a little bit of help. Stick your hand on the other side of this guy to push that one in. That was a little difficult, but other than that, then you put the floorboard screws in, and then this screw in. And the last screws are up here. This is gonna be for this front fairing. So while I was up here, I was getting a weird, at low RPM, I was getting a weird windshield kind of rubbing, rattling sound. So I wanted to look at that when I was in here. And from the factory, I guess, well, I guess the dealer, they put on the windscreen, but some of these bolts, those screws were a little loose in there. I know they're on grommet mounts and stuff, so they're not supposed to, you know, you don't want to crank down on them, but maybe putting this fairing back on will help some of those issues. But yeah, so there's a lip here. It came out and up, or up and out. We're gonna see how we'll get this, and also make sure the holes here line up with these guys here. Kind of self-explanatory, but again, the plastics on this stuff is kind of a Jenga. So I'm gonna put it back down again, use both my hands, and we'll button this one up. Okay, so I've got the last fairing back on. Those screws there. It's kind of a awkward thing. This screw wants to push it out on its way in, but wasn't too bad. We'll check for any weird gaps or anything like that, but I think good to go. Let's make sure lights still work. The view from here. Definitely looks more horizontal rather than spread out. Maybe that'll spread horizontally on the pavement. We'll know more at night here. Maybe we'll turn off the lights in here. It's definitely a line beam pattern. Not sure how I feel about that. Check out the high beams here. Yeah, flat lines. And we'll see if we keep that or not. Actually, we'll just see. You just see at night what it looks like. But luckily, here I'll show the high beams from the front here. You know. Luckily, I can probably change them back. Just going up through the fork there rather than doing this whole mess again. So we'll see what I like more. They seem a little brighter, but the pattern seems a little funky. So anyway, that's how you change headlights, let alone LED lights. I'll just see how these front ones do. I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure about that pattern, but it'll when I get a chance to test it out at night, we'll see what that does. All right, thanks all. Hope it helps someone.